Did you know there is a secret real estate marketing list that I know for a fact you are not pulling that is literally on fire?
Oh my God.
And it's true that there are extremely hot wholesaling real estate deals, and pun intended, that you are just not doing. These are deals that went on fire, and most wholesalers think, oh, things burnt to a crisp, don't want to deal with it. When the honest truth is, once you start doing real estate a lot, you figure out like fire damage properties. Like when a house catches on fire, you imagine in your mind that it just gets blown up into smoke. And I'll be honest with you, if this is the 1970s and 80s when you see the movies back then, yeah, because in the 70s, the houses were built in the 20s and 30s, all made of wood, different inspection, like the different type of grading of the steel that they made, the different grading of the wood. When really in most properties, if a house catches on fire, thank goodness for our fire departments, the whole house doesn't go in flames anymore.
Nope.
Right? It really doesn't. It partially gets burned. And so as you see kind of behind us, right, sometimes the whole house does catch on fire and nothing and like there's nothing left. But for most pieces of real estate, when the house goes on fire, it's the kitchen's burnt to a crisp or like a small room, but the whole house is saved. And this is really cool because that means the house is partially damaged, which makes it an ugly house. And people just get their insurance check and they're done. They want to get out of this house. And the cool part is there's this little loophole with real estate insurance where they give you a check and they let you keep the house. So if it's burnt to a crisp, they still have this ugly house. And if they get a little bit of money for the repairs and they just want to get rid of the house, they have an ugly house. They already have their check. Like they already have their money. And so they're not attached to the property anymore too. And they just want to get rid of it. And the thing is, I'm just trying to sauce this up for you because you're watching this like fire damage. No. I don't want to deal with the house burned to a crisp. No, that's land wholesaling. No, it's wholesaling houses just with a little issue. And we've made a ton of money with this. And the biggest two issues that we are going to just break down starting up is how do I find fire damage properties?
Mm-hmm.
And can I even wholesale them?
Yep.
And the answer is you can find these deals really easily. And yes, of course, you can make a ton of money doing this. And so we're excited to break this all down today.
Yeah, it's I avoided fire damage my first probably 4 years because I didn't understand it. I didn't think you could do it. And honestly, huge mistake. So they said most fires are limited, usually the kitchen and the bathroom. And for that reason, the only caveat is you're doing something you've never done before. If you haven't done it before, you just got to get comfortable. And if you're resisting it, and I've told you other people resist it, then that means you should probably go head on for it because there are leads that nobody else can solve. The realtors can't solve it. We got to find end buyers. End buyers, you need to find ones that want to work on cash, work on fire damage properties. So these are phenomenal leads. So
let's break this all down. So the first thing we got to talk about here is what is a fire damage property? And let's kind of talk about it's a little different than probably what most people assume. Like, what's the definition of this that we're talking about? Really what it is it's a house that caught on fire, had some fire on it. Now, specifically what we want to be going after are properties that the fire department got a call on. Even if this is a tiny little like stove fire, if it's on there, it's on the list because there's some type of damage. There's some type of repair needed on that deal. That is it. And in wholesaling real estate, if there is a tiny bit of motivation, which would be the property here, we can sneak in and make a ton of money wholesaling these deals. And so fire damage properties, like they're pretty simple. Fire happened on the house and we can wholesale them, right?
There's smoke, there's fire.
There's smoke, there's fire. And what I can tell you is there's different types of fire damage properties. And this is going to be the key difference here because we have wholesalers making hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month only going after fire damage properties because it works. Like you can make a ton of money doing this. And so fire damage properties have different types. There's different, what I call, classifications of this. And if you know the type of classifications here, you'll be able to do it and you can make a ton of money here. And so let's kind of talk about I like to put them in two categories, right? We have partially burnt houses and we have complete teardown. So let's kind of talk about partially burnt houses first, right? Mm-hmm. Now, these are where most of them are going to be, right?
Yep. a lot of kitchen fires, guys, a lot of toasters, a lot of like grease fires. And grease fires are probably the biggest one. That's when the pan catches on fire with the grease. Somebody throws water on it. I don't know if you know, but if you throw water on grease, it just spreads the fire.
Oh, yeah.
And then once it gets out of this range, you should be calling the fire department. And hopefully they get there in a reasonable amount of time. But they happen all the time. I mean, it's happened in my house. I did it in an apartment once, and I'm sure some of you experienced to it. Also, the ladies with the hair dryers, like near the water, and some of those really like high voltage appliances, they can easily catch fire. Trust me on this one. So this is where most of the fires are going to occur, depending on the damage. But like, there's damage, so it was like, wow, don't we have to go through an extra step on a fire damaged property? Yeah, it's got to be inspected, usually by like some sort of county official. But like, that's just, even if you did like rehab and had to rebuild the kitchen, if you do anything structural, you would have to have it inspected anyway. So it's not the end of the world, guys. I'm telling you, a lot of people run from these. This is why they wind up being great wholesaling deals.
And there's a lot of education on there online from us on this. And we teach this a lot in freewholesaling.com. But the process is not like, I'll be honest, like the process of doing this, it's very much the same as wholesaling a regular house, right?
Exactly.
And so walk through the process if you're wholesaling a fire damaged property that's partially burned down. What would your process be from talking to the seller, answering the objections, and getting it locked up and sold to a buyer?
The hardest part people deal with, like, what are the costs of the repairs? And like, here's a little secret in it. Usually an insurance adjuster comes out and writes up a claim, and he does an estimate amount of repairs. Also, the fire department will put an estimate repairs. They're not too bad at it because they do it by like square footage and the size of the house.
Yeah.
So like, how that you're constantly guessing on what the rehab cost on a property is, the fire damage, they kind of put it in writing in there. And I put a 10 to 15% buffer on it half the time. And then you just write it up. And so once you already know what the repairs are, you can easily put a wholesale deal together. Sometimes the homeowner gets the check if their house is paid for. If they have a mortgage, usually the mortgage is going to oversee and dilly out the checks for the contractors to do it. But you simply put it under contract, and here's the basic difference I do with it. I just have a much longer contingency period because it does take a little bit more time to find a cash buyer that is experienced in buying fire damaged property. So honestly, it's the exact same process. Imagine you don't have to guess on the rehab. They tell you what the rehab is. So instead of doing a 30-day inspection, you want to do 60 and 90 days is ideal. Why? Because it just takes time. And most homeowners understand that, and they're trying to figure out insurance claims and figure it out. Now, you want to find a cash buyer that's experienced with fire damaged properties. If they've never bought one before, they'll be very hesitant, very slow to pull the trigger, which is like kryptonite to us wholesalers. And that's the one caveat on it. You get better deals, but they do take longer to find that niche buyer of fire damaged properties. But it's the exact same process. The rehab spelled out for you. You just do a longer inspection period. And remember, you got to find an end buyer that's going to pull the trigger and buy it as is. You guys are not going to be doing the repairs. Don't even try to do them because it's lengthy, it's costly, and it's going to get you out of wholesaling. Do not be a fix and flipper. The real money is always going to be in wholesaling.
The money is always going to be in wholesaling here. And one thing I can tell everybody is with a fire damaged property, if there is just any inkling of something you don't know about it, you can just have the title company do a lot of the questioning and the answers and all these. And you can have the title company make a big help for you. And they deal with this all the time. Now, the next one here is what we call complete teardowns. Now, these are the properties that, they got completely burnt to a crisp here and they're absolutely destroyed. And so what I can tell you is when a house gets completely burnt down, like to a crisp, it's kind of land value at that point, right? You're going to cost some money just to kind of get rid of all that rubble. Mm-hmm. And then you got land value. And that, at the end of the day, it's kind of wholesaling land. It's not that fun, but the seller gets their insurance check. And a lot of land, I don't think a lot of people understand this. They're worth like 30, 40 grand. You lock it up for 10, you can make 20, 30 grand like that.
Yep.
But the problem is a lot of you guys are just so scared to reach out to these sellers. It's beyond me. When I get a guy who says, Zach, it's so saturated in my market. I can't get any deals in Dallas. Why don't you do fire damage properties? And then you get some excuse like, I don't know how to do it. And then I'm like, well, this is why you're struggling, because you're going after what everyone else is going after. And what you need to be doing instead is going after a list that nobody else in your market's really going after. Now, if you're in Dallas, you're probably not the only guy doing it, but if you only have to compete against one guy, you'll be fine. Now, when you start competing like in other markets when there's not much, you're going to be fine. And so why do most wholesalers in wholesaling avoid fire damage properties? My personal opinion here, they avoid them because they're scared, right? They're scared to really contact the seller because it's really a fear of the objection, right? So number one is, I don't know how to figure out repair costs. That's the number one objection I get from people starting out. I mean, they basically already estimate it for you. And at most, it's going to be 20, 30 grand if it's a really, really small fire, up to 10, at minimum. And then it can go all the way up to 50, 60, $70,000. But really, it's a range, but just use the regular repair cost, worksheet we have at freewholesaling.com, and you'll be fine on there. And the next one is what the seller's like, well, what's the process? And you don't know the process. It's why you're watching this video, so you know the process, right? Here's the process. We write up an agreement, and then we bring it to title, and we're going to let title kind of show us what we need to do from there, because every single county is different. But sometimes a fire inspector has to go in there and approve that you can be in there or live in there or actually be inside of there. Usually, if it's not that bad, it's not really that big of a deal. It usually does smell a little bad in these properties, but I mean, wear a mask or something, you should be fine. Lock up the deal, find a buyer, walk them through, and just like any other old house here. The truth here is, it's not scary. This is a win-win-win situation, right? Us wholesalers make a ton of money. Mm-hmm. The seller gets rid of the unwanted house, and the rehabber gets a discount on that piece of land if it's a complete teardown. Also, the seller already got the insurance check. They already got the money. Yep. It's easy. It's simple. And especially if the house got completely burnt down and you're doing land. Yep. The house worth $300. They already have an insurance check for $300. Now you get the deal, right? And the land, a little different value, but most people they get rid of the land for pennies on the dollar. And this is where we can make a ton of money. Now, one thing I'll tell everybody watching this, educate your motivated seller. Educating your motivated seller is going to be crucial here, because if you can be the person who can educate the seller the correct way on the fire damage property process, they're going to go with you versus anybody else who's dealing with them, and you'll get that amazing wholesaling deal. And so educating is as simple as just explaining the process in layman's terms to them, just like a pre-foreclosure, right?
Yeah, it's not hard. I mean, sometimes when you got to give them the first time, they'll usually miss out. By the second or third time, they'll figure it out. And guys, rely on your title company. They'll tell you what paperwork, what documents need to be done. To this day, I still rely on it, because our job is to market and find the motivated seller, find the fire damage properties. That's got to be your highest and best use. I don't need you to be an expert on what county and city documents you need to get that house back in shape. Leave it up to the title company. They'll tell you, they'll put you through the process. If it's minimal, it's usually nothing. If it's major, there are some steps you have to take. But remember, you don't do it alone. You get help. You don't have to be an expert in that. You're an expert on finding motivated sellers, people that need to sell their properties.
That's what it is. So educate the seller, you're good to go. Now, one thing I will tell you is we do have situations where we're going to show you today exactly how to find these properties. Now, when you find these properties, the methods that we do are very quick. And so you'll find this out with probates. We'll get to the seller right when someone passed away. Not because we're terrible people, but because you have to beat your competition. You have to. You have to. And so the best way to destroy your competition here is to get to the fire damage property right when the house went on fire. And this is a weird situation, because you're going to be in a situation here where maybe the kitchen went on fire, and the kitchen, 40 grand is the repairs on it. And the seller wants to get rid of it. They're like, I went out, right? A lot of people have PTSD in the house with the fire, right? They just want to get out. And the problem is you obviously want to lock it up and sell it in 30 days, but the insurance still has to do their stupid process. They have to go through their underwriting. They have to go and have the adjuster come in, and you got now the actuary, and you got to do all this crazy mumbo jumbo where you can't really close the deal because they need their insurance check first. And this comes to a situation where the seller says the magical lines in fire damage properties is, I can't sign anything until I get my insurance check. And now you're screwed. Now time does, like we always say, kill all deals.
Mm-hmm.
And boom, you're done. There's nothing you can do here. And so that's what you feel like. But really, the truth is you have to lock up the contract as soon as possible. Obviously, the seller needs their insurance check. What we're going to do is just make sure the closing is after they get their insurance check. So we have the thing under contract for 4, 5, 6 months if we have to. All right. They need their insurance check before closing. So it's contract, check, then closing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So think about this. Contract, check, then closing. Just like a probate, right? Like the probate needs to be done before you can close on the deal, but you can get the contract before the probate happens.
Correct.
And so this is, I know I'm trying to make this process pretty simple, but contract, check, closing. Simple, easy. And you can explain that, yeah, you can write a contract, an agreement, and get your insurance check, and then boom, it's sold right when you get your insurance check too. So, and that gives you plenty of time to walk through the house and you're good to go. Also, a big benefit of most fire damage properties is if the house got burnt pretty bad, not terribly, it's usually vacant. And you can get access to the property, do a bunch of walkthroughs, and do well. So it's great. I don't think a lot of people, like, unless you have a family member in the fire department, a lot of houses catch on fire.
A lot.
People are stupid, including me. Like, I mean, you got 300,000 houses. One of those guys, it's going to be some crazy
it's like
situation.
0.5%.
Right? It's going to happen.
But guys, keep in mind that a lot of people go, well, I can't enter a contract until, the fire department clears it, or I get an occupational license. Listen, who's ever on the deed is the decision maker. They can enter in a contract and not know the outcome. The only thing you have to be with fire damage, you got to be more flexible.
Yeah.
But that flexibility works in your favor, because if you get a 90-day inspection window, that gives you a ton of time to find that niche cash buyer for a fire damage property. It gives the homeowner exactly what they want. And you just think about it. Look, you just basically option the house. I've seen it take up to a year sometimes. You can't make people make decisions, but once they earn in that contract, they've already obligated to you. And they just want to go through the process. Some want to go through it quick. Some are going to take some more time. But remember, the homeowner is in control. If you work an agreement, direct line to the homeowner, nobody can take you out. So I always tell my homeowners, go, listen, I'm not living in the house. I'm flexible. If you want to wait the 3 months, I guess I can do that, even though that's what I wanted deep down inside. So what you think is a disadvantage is actually a great advantage, especially if you're a newer wholesaler, because you get more flexibility. And like, I'm going to tell you, if you ever have to get out of a fire damage property contract, it's not like a big deal because it's common. It's fire damage. Sometimes the repairs are way more than what the estimate or what the fire department said it was. And for that reason, it would be a valid reason to either get out of the contract or, better yet, get a reduction in your contract price. I'm
telling you, I don't know, like no one really talks about, and the only people that talk about fire damage properties sell a crazy course.
Yeah. Oh God, dude. I'm going to refrain.
No, we're going to refrain, but I'm just like, it's
all a secret.
Umbrella. It's a secret course, right? And it's crazy to me that like, it's such a secret how to find these deals. And so let's just expose every wholesaling fire damage property guru and just explain this. So how do you find these type of deals? And they're like, oh, it's a secret.
If I had to make a list for the most ridiculous, just wholesaling courses out there, I mean, driving for dollars is like,
it's there.
We could do it. We could do an entire month on that one, but I won't. But like, so guys, common sense. Wholesaling is a fundamental skill set. You look for motivated sellers. That's why we have freewholesaling.com to give you guys the truth and the information so you can actually go out there and get deals. So
I'll tell you, like, I mean, for me, the light bulb came to me when I wholesaled the deal and it was fire damage. I never thought about fire damage properties back in the good old days, like 7-ish years ago. But the kitchen was on fire and smelled really bad. And I'm like, this is a good motivation.
Yeah.
And then government lists. And the reason why we talk about this is this under the umbrella of government lists? FYI. What do you mean by that? That's what exactly I mean. This is a list you get from the government. And so how do I get fire damage properties? There are 5 ways to get fire damage properties. Only 5. Simple. All right, let's break this down. Number 1, the easiest one. You get it from the government, the actual fire department. So your fire department is a government entity. It's run by the government. And you know what is the best part about a government-ran entity? They have to give out their public information. And so what I love doing is going to the fire department and requesting that I get a list of every house for the past 30 days that went on fire. Just the address. I don't need personal information, just their address. And it sounds weird, but your fire department, if you're in a more rural area, is probably never gotten that request ever.
Yeah.
And guess what happens when you ask a government official something that they've never been asked before? Guess what your first reaction is? No.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. No. Can't give you that. That's private information. I love it when people tell me private information. Private information is for private businesses, not public. And here's the thing. I'm using my tax dollars. I don't even debate me about how much money I spend on property taxes with all the properties we have.
Yep.
I went on a very long fight over 2 properties that I own that were grossly overvalued on the property appraiser, and they wanted to jack me up tens of thousands of dollars more than what the thing was really worth. Tens of thousands of dollars of like property tax, but I negotiate down as well. But I pay a lot of money in property taxes, and I need to know where the fire department's going, because every time that truck leaves the station, it's thousands of dollars. And where are they going? Right?
Yep.
It's all trackable. And I got to know. And I actually am privy to this information. And so you can request the fire department a list of all properties that they went on. Sometimes, and I'll tell you, sometimes they can't give that to you, and they say something like, we can only tell you the block or the lot or something like, for example, they'll say we went to the 1600 block on Maple Street in Western Port St. Lucie. From there, you kind of have to guess. You have to probably drive for dollars in that area and figure it out. It works. It's not my favorite when they do that, but usually they have to give the address. You can do a FOIA request, go in person, be nice. But the fire department will give you this information. There's going to be I kid you not, and this is why these work really well. You can get a lot of pushback with these fire departments. But they do have a records department, and you can get it. My favorite one is, you ready for this one? We don't have a record of any. We don't keep records. I love that one.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that you keep no records.
Yeah.
So you're, and here's my favorite one. You know what I do? And this is because I have friends in every fire department. I say, hey, you know I have friends in the fire department, right? One of my guys on the wrestling team, his dad's a captain, and I know him. Like, hey, do you really want to say that? They're like, oh, okay, well, wait, which captain? And then they want to know, and I say, I'm not telling you, okay? But what I will tell you is I know the captain. And do you really want to lie to me right now? Because that's your boss, you know? And then they're like, well, yeah, I mean, we kind of do keep record. I'm like, you just lied to me.
Yeah. What happens, guys, is a lot of time is there's no question that it's paid with public taxpayers' dollars. Like you don't believe me, look on your own property, you'll see a line item for fire department, and it ain't cheap. But what happened is they convolute public versus privacy. And although you have the right to claim the public information, they're going to mix their privacy policy up.
Yeah.
So listen, nobody's going to guarantee you these lists. The more people that ask for it, the more times it's a problem. But to overcome resistance, you got to beat it with persistence. But most of you have to navigate through the privacy policy. Telling them, hey, it's public, I pay my taxpayers' dollars, you're going to get a headbutt. So you want to try to dance with them, go a little bit what Zach said. Another technique, what some people do, I don't do this. I think it's a little extreme, but some of you guys are young, got more time. You can get between police scanners and like fire departments, they broadcast when these fires go out. If you want to really be like proactive and get it. Now, I assume they got to give an address when they do it, but there is live feeds for this. I would imagine AI would incorporate it, and maybe we can work around some of these departments that aren't sharing information. But remember, privacy policy versus public public tax information, and they all mostly go and hide behind that privacy policy. You just got to find a way to talk through it and overcome it. That's going to be the secret to these fire damage properties.
Yeah, and so let me show you this really quick. I don't know if I will get in trouble with this, but we'll show this little thing. And so the first thing right here, let's go here. This is for Martin County. So this is pretty simple, but this is their Martin County Fire Rescue Scanner currently.
Yeah.
And so as you can see, they're on Federal Highway. This guy's on Abaca Highway. Call type. And these are some of the chest pains, right? So they have incident ones. They arrived. Currently, they are transport ambulance. So I could get ambulance, right? But like you just look at the fire one, it'll do live feeds. Now, is this worth it? Probably not. Like that's not going to be the crazy good thing here. But right here is also this is a weird one too. This is Florida Firefighter. Or what is this? This is flfirefighters.com. And you see how it's all these different departments?
Yeah.
And so it can listen to live dispatch.
They've got to give an address when they do it, though, right?
Yeah, so listen to a live dispatch from Florida. Let's see. This is the Alachua County. You got the Bay. They got Brevard County. And so I don't know how much trouble I'd get on this. Like I can click the... All right, got to change the feed on this.
I've basically seen some of you guys using this, so I didn't discover this. I've always watched it for like police stuff in my area, but maybe you guys can crack the code and beat other wannabe wholesalers or realtors on it. But it is a technique they do. You do get some live feeds. I don't think they record the address, but
hold on. Most people do this broadcastify, and so for example, I can go to Florida. Let's do Indian River County. And, oh, look at this. Alarm fire in Sebastian. Seen smoke showed from a garage of one-story dwelling. So they have an incident here. I would have to listen to it.
Yeah.
But let's see. Oh, details here. All right, let's go here and look. Incident page network. I think I'll do the transcriptions. Let's see here.
You probably got to pay a premium service to get that.
Incident learning services, and it's actually pretty cool how they do this. But it'll give you the information. Brevard County, trauma code declared, vehicle, and so you get all this stuff. You can click here. The amateur repeaters. This is their.
I think you got to listen to them live, though, to get the address.
Yeah. So I'm not telling you guys do that, but there's some other things. What I'd honestly do is if you have like a bet, this is just from my more advanced people out here, you can record it and then transcribe it and then have AI pull up the addresses. That's another thing you can do too.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's like my favorite one to do is some AIs, you can upload the audio and transcribe it and then just paste the audio into AI and then get the address from there. I'm just saying is if you're creative and smart, you can do that. Also, for example here, sometimes fire department doesn't want to give you stuff. And so if you go here to like the Martin County one, let's see. Do you see how it'll give you the incident number? You can request the address of the incident number, right?
That might be a route too.
Even like I look at Federal Highway, unit R1, unit R14. That probably connects to something.
It's a code or something.
It's for the unit there. Oh, that's the unit that's going on there. But you know exactly what's going on there. And so fire departments, police scanners, they work really good. Let me pop up this one here. History. And so they'll pop up a lot of stuff here. Let's see here. And then some of them have this too. Let me show this really quick too. And so they also have portals here. Let me go here. Where is the thing? I was going to show this. They have the medical record. They have the email. They have the socials. They have the fire station locations, operations. Okay, submit an interest card. So I'm trying to show this one. All right, we'll show this one later. But basically, you can pop up every single one that the fire department went on. But you also have to remember that counties and cities are different.
Mm-hmm.
So the city of Palm Beach, like city of West Palm Beach fire departments can be different than the Palm Beach County Fire Department. And so just as you know there, you get from individual ones, you're good to go. Now, number 2 are Facebook pages. There are a ton of Facebook pages that actually show the fire damage properties. And so some are different, right? So like, for example, I can go to like, the West Palm Beach Fire Department. And you're going to pop up a lot of pages. And you'll see here. Let's see. A lot of them are they're kind of all puff pieces, but some of them actually show what actually happens. Let's see here. Fire Department Scanner, Florida. And so there's also these other ones. So I don't want to join these. Here we go. I'm getting in trouble here. Hold on. There's this one here. I'm trying to show this one. And so like this one, for example, I don't get in trouble showing this, but I don't really care. This is Central Florida Scanner. So a lot of these scanner pages out here, they're actually pretty dang popular. And they'll basically, this is all for Florida. So it's not really that crazy. But basically these are all mostly incidents. These are all crashes really. This is a wildfire.
Makes for good drama TV.
Everyone loves the drama, but you can kind of basically look at fire here. And so these are all accidents. People love accidents and arrests. But like right here.
There's a fire.
Miami-Dade, 3-alarm ravages apartment complex.
That was a bad one.
Yeah, but you see how is the address right here?
Yep.
And so this is going to be on who posted this? Florida Scanner posted that.
Yep.
And so I know you have to go through a lot of stupid stuff. That's victim. Okay, there's a lot of arrests here. But usually you have to kind of sift through these, and you'll find fire damage properties. Let's see. Why do we have a cat on here? A lot of missing people, a lot of stupid crashes. That's another fire damage one with an address. All I'm going to do here is I'll show you this thing really quick. I'm going to go here and just search this, and this makes it a lot easier. I'm going to go fire. And you search fire, you can find all these fire damage ones. Like this one right here, Marion County. So it's a 1800 block of 24th Street, as you see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 24th Street, I have to look at the 1800 block, which kind of sucks. But they talk about wood frame house right here. Money, right?
Yep.
Cha-ching. Cha-cha-cha-cha-ching. That is insane right there. And so, boom. Like that's a partially fire damaged property, right? That's a partially burnt house.
Mm-hmm.
Not terrible. It's in Ocala. And boom. That's a property I'd go after. Right there, boom. Then you get more, right? And then you get all these, right? So these are crashes. There's another one in Marion County. Structural in the Greenwood Apartments. And then you go by most recent too. Let me show one more here. Jeez, a lot of arrests. Hey, we can do the arrest record list too if we want. Can you tell me what's going on over here? Polk County. Look at this one too. So I know this kind of sucks, but like if you can kind of figure out, it has the article here, East Highway at the outskirts of the city. It gives you kind of the address, and boom, you can go after a property like that. And so Facebook pages, they're called scanners, the department for the city and county. You just got to figure it out.
Scanners are entertaining if you're sitting down doing like some work, because I'll tell you, they're very interesting on Friday and Saturday nights, but they have a big draw in social media because it's like cops live, like in your neighborhood. So you can find out all the arrests that have gone down.
I'll tell you this. Do you know it's a secret marketing tactic? I don't think I ever told you this. There's in Port St. Lucie, there's a big police scanning Facebook page and group.
Yeah.
It's got like 30,000 followers. And all they do is every police scan, there's someone there and they scan what happens and they report on the thing what's going on. And it had like 30,000 followers. And this wholesaler, who will be unnamed, nothing bad, but like this wholesaler used to sponsor the guy.
Still does.
So he sponsored the guy. And he would go live with the guy and say, if you have a house you want to sell, and he gets deals from it.
He does.
And guess what he did? He bought the guy's page. Yeah. So now he runs the wholesaler.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because he'll do the scanning, and then like every like 10th one, he'd be like, if you want to sell your property, and it's not bad. And so just telling everybody, like, it's an interesting marketing play.
Mm-hmm.
I have never seen that in wholesaling before, of like taking over a page with followers. That's like a local influencer, that police scanning guy, and he sold it, and he had to get deals from it, right? That's how it works. But the guy that we're talking about, he owns it now.
Yeah.
And he just runs it. It's just very interesting.
It's kind of his hobby. So if like you enjoy doing that stuff and you want to get leads out of it, and you can pick it up with a good target size audience for a very small price, which I'm sure he did. Not a bad play. Actually pretty smart. I find them very entertaining. All your local towns have them, guys. Turn it on Friday, Saturday night. It's like watching cops live. You just listen to it. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at the thing. It's like 7 posts a day. Like it's a lot. But the followers are pretty interesting. It's 47,000 followers. It's just,
because people like what they
very
like
local.
It. Yeah, it's a lot of entertainment. It's a lot of content, and people want to know what's going on. God forbid, like
a lot of older people.
They want the negative too. They don't want it's never the positive. It's the negative. But
so what I'll tell you is, it's just another tactic that just doesn't get talked about, but it works. Number 3, you can go to individual firehouses, like the fire department. Like there's individual houses in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad. Number 4. You have to do a FOIA request, unfortunately, sometimes. Sucks to do, but you can. And then number 5 here, which is going to be the good SEO play, but this is digital bandit signs. And so you can post. I know it's very, very specific, but you can go to Craigslist. You can go to the scanner groups. Crazy. Mm-hmm. So I go to like the Florida scanner group and just comment this, or I can post it. The post probably won't get... Actually, I'll tell you this. Here's a good idea. I know this is bad, but what I would do was I would go see a fire damaged house in my county, take a picture of it, reporting live. I see a fire damaged house. Also, by the way, I buy houses that got on fire.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a little of both. What I'll tell you is just make a digital bandit sign post. Go to Gemini, go to ChatGPT, and just basically say, make a post saying, do you have a fire damaged property? Me and my partner are looking to buy houses that need a lot of work in the Marion County area.
Mm-hmm.
And just post that there. I promise you, if you have a fire damaged property, you're clicking that.
Yep.
It's easy. It's simple.
Yeah.
Facebook groups, Craigslist, you will get deals doing this. I know it sounds crazy, but you will get deals doing that. It works really good. And so let's kind of break down our 5-step fire damaged property profit process. And so I wanted you to say that because of how hard it is to say. The 5-step fire damage property profit process. But steps. I feel like if I have to be a guru, I have to have a profit process to make it feel like you bought a course. And so let's kind of break down the steps needed, the 5 steps to make profits on fire damage properties. Number 1, find a wholesaling friendly title company. A lot of people they make this like their goal of life, but just find it. Closing attorney, wherever state you're in. Simple as that. Number 2, pull the fire damage property list. Do what type of marketing you need to do for the fire damage properties. And then boom, get leads. Now, step 3, this is a little more complicated. But you're going to, number 1, have to educate your seller. You're going to have to condition the seller for a yes or no decision like we teach at freewholesaling.com. Then you're going to have to lock up the deal with them, bring it to title, let it get cleaned up with the insurance and all this, find the cash buyer, walk them through. And step 5, our favorite part, getting your nice $20,000, $30,000 wholesaling real estate check. That is our process. If you want to find fire damage properties, do those 5 things and you'll get wholesaling real estate deals. At the end of the day, the hardest part is just doing it. So show up. I'll tell anyone watching this, make a commitment. Here's the thing with fire damage properties. There's not a lot of them. In your county, there might be 150 at most. Like if you're in a bigger city, probably 100. Like, we're not asking you to do too much. No. I really don't think so. Like, call them, text them. Like, I'm not asking you to do too much on this. Just 100. I think anybody can do 20 in a week. So on a Saturday, you can just knock off all 20. That's all I'm asking you to do. And you'll be surprised if you do 100 in a month, you'll probably get a deal out of 100. Is that crazy? Out of 100, get a deal. It's almost better than trying for dollars, but you're not willing to do it. So I'm talking to the 2-3% of people watching this. Do it and make some money. It works really well. That's it. And then my last thing I always get is, I hate this, but there are people that decide to self-insure and their house goes in flames.
Yeah.
Right? It's their $200,000 house and the house catches completely all on fire. And they say, Zach, I'm sorry, but I need the money. I need $300,000 for this. Burnt piece of crap. And I'm like, I'm sorry you don't have insurance, but that's not my problem. And I have to say it in a nicer way. But unfortunately, the property can't afford that. Right? That's something we always say.
We just go back and go, when this works really well in wholesaling. I didn't come up with this for full disclosure, but someone taught me once, when someone gets so delusional of like what they want, like they go, I need $600,000 to retire my mom and send my son to chef school, sous school, whatever it is. And I'd like $150,000 to just retire on. I go, hold on. I go, let's see what the house can afford.
Yep.
And then we'll see if it makes more. The idea is to go, listen, you're so disconnected. I need to see what the house is worth. I understand what you want. It's a wish list. We all want that. But like, we're not a lottery ticket. Let's see what the house can afford. And usually they go, oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And so when they get like that, they don't have insurance. Unfortunately, they're going to have to bite the bullet. Just they took that risk. So they got to pay the price when it happens. But find a nice way to remind them. I go, listen, I'm only buying the house. I'm not buying your entire retirement package. And we get this all the time. So just, you got to make a kind of a shocking statement and shift them back to the asset at hand. So
that's it. So guys, that is how you do fire damage properties. Make sure you go to Wholesaling.com because we talk a little more about this, and we'll share exactly how to do it the right way for wholesaling real estate success. And so also, we got a big announcement for next week. We're pretty excited about it. We are dropping our 3-part Subject to series. And so it's going to be basically a Subject to course. And for anybody that says they invented Subject to whatever, I remember one guy says, Subject to is this. We have this book, How Real Estate Fortunes Are Made. Subject to is in this book. This book's from the stinking 70s. This book is over $200-$300 now. I know we jacked the price up on this book because I don't know why. But this was heavenly.
It's like the real estate
divine. It's divine from above. This book came to us from a wholesaling deal. And this book basically teaches you how to wholesale real estate, how to do lease options, subject twos, marketing for wholesaling from my boy George Bockel, the GOAT. And I love it when gurus claim that and this book, like I always say, this is like a precious artifact, 1972. And this guy learned this book, and it's part of the Library of Congress category. Also, I want everyone to understand this. This is also categorized in the Library of Congress right here. So it's the Library of Congress catalog, publishing data, real estate. It's the real estate investment strategy, HD 1379B63 333.3 apostrophe 3 72-2886 ISBN 0-13-431-098-5. So that's all recorded for you if you're a Library of Congress type person. But this is a book that is archived in the Library of Congress in the United States of America. So even if this book goes away, the information doesn't go away. And it's proof that these wholesaling real estate gurus did not invent any of this stuff. And it's pretty cool. And so it kind of teaches you everything you need to know about wholesaling. Sometimes, before I do a video, I'll skim through it and basically just see if there's something that I don't know about or about wholesaling. And so, for example, we're talking about subject twos. And so all I have to do is debt servicing, depreciation, elderly property owners, how taxes work, mortgage catch-ups, mortgage getting paid down, down payments on real estate deals, how to do contracts, debt servicing. It's also JVs are in here too. You see that joint venture?
Mm-hmm.
Joint ventures are in here. Wholesaling obviously is in here. And then my favorite one is, let me try to find this one. Let's see here.
What are you looking for?
Trying to find this. So he calls this overfinancing. And I forgot what the term he put. He has subject twos in here, but he calls it basically financing, where he has like a certain one in this. But just FYI, we didn't invent subject twos. This thing's done since the 70s. But we have three parts subject to series. So basically a 3-part subject to series coming out next week. So it's going to be dropped on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, part 1, 2, and 3. And basically Rick sits down for a very long time and basically teaches you what a subject to is, how anybody starting out in real estate can do subject twos. And next week is kind of subject to type week. So we're going to make it very, very creative finance heavy next week because, we mostly talk about wholesaling here, but we make a lot of money doing a lot of other things. And so we're going to do basically a big subject to blast next week. And that's going to be pretty cool. And we're very excited for that. And so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're going to drop some subject to stuff. And then we'll get some wholesaling stuff for our lives. But it's going to be really cool. Or if you guys want in the comments, let me know, should we do a subject to creative financing mega live stream on Tuesday and Thursday? You let us know about that, what you guys want. But it's pretty exciting. So yeah, I'm pumped up for it. So yeah, creative deals are great. How to structure them, how to wholesale creative financing deals. I know, we must talk about wholesaling, but we have, let's talk about you specifically. You have more subject to lease option owner financing experience over a very long term than pretty much any other wholesaler in the game, right?
I don't know what it is. I've just been exposed to a lot of it, and I've always been a wholesaler. And sometimes creative deals they go that way. Most creative finance deals you do, it's because honestly, it's the only solution. That's the best ones to do.
We're not claiming to be the best subject to people in the
but
world,
like you
but
can do them.
We do a lot of them.
We teach a lot of people that work with Flip with Rick Plus how to do them. In fact, we're working on 2 more this week.
2 more contracts.
And we partner up with it and get like local people to help us manage the property. And guys, there's tons of deals out there. You got to go out and find them. What I don't want you to do is go, okay, I'm not going to do wholesaling because it's too hard and it's too saturated. I'm just going to do creative financing because I don't have to compete. Listen, you have to compete no matter what you do. Like if you think the minute somebody tells you there's a shortcut, you're going to get in the back of the line. You're going to have to put in the hard work. Creative finance is the same type of deal. But if I just hunted creative financing all day, I would do a disservice to my wholesaling. If that's what people want to do, I'm fine with it. But like most of you starting out, you don't have the capital, you don't have the experience. So we want you to start wholesaling so you can gain the confidence, so you know how to talk to sellers, get some cash in your account, and then you can get monies to do some downstrokes on seller financing, subject to, and all sorts of stuff. And you start building it up. So many people in this business go, I'm going to build a monster wholesaling business and then I'm going to sell it. No, you're not. It doesn't work. Nobody wants them. The value of any wholesaler or their business is the assets it accrues, nothing else. The minute you leave that business, it is worthless because you are the driving factor. You are it. If you don't believe me, I've watched 21 years of people trying to sell. Every wholesaling business I've seen sold has failed miserably. Why? Because it is an individual sport. It is work. It is not a passive game. You have to work. You have to market. You have to be disciplined. You have to know how to buy. You have to know how to talk to people. And you have to know dispositions. The minute you walk out and people change those processes, they might have some success, but never at the level you're going to have it. So I want you to use that income from wholesaling so you can buy other assets. And if you can use a creative financing strategy, I'm perfectly fine with it. My challenge is the paperwork. And when people tell people, don't tell the bank this, don't tell the bank that, I don't agree with anything. If you're going to hide stuff, it's going to come back to haunt you. And remember, when you do a creative financing deal, especially a subject to, it should be the only fit, meaning they've tried everything else and you're the only person they want to work with because you're the only one asking for money. And number two, they have to be overly cooperative. If they're even slightly difficult up front, you're going to have challenges. So guys, incorporate it. I love talking about it. We want to show you other elements to it. I just don't believe you should leave wholesaling because you think creative financing is easier. That is not a valid argument. Like the problem with creative financing, you got to come back to get money later. So what are you going to do right now to earn money? Wholesaling is usually going to be the best answer. And that's going to teach you the highest skill set in real estate, in my opinion.
Exactly. So we're excited about that next week. So let us know. And we are back from our travels and stuff. So we're good here. And yeah, that was a lot. So we're back here and we ain't going back. So we're pretty excited about this. Just talking wholesale real estate and helping you guys out. So let's answer some questions, guys. If you want to talk to us, we have a StreamYard link right here, StreamYard. And so if you want to talk to us, do a one-on-one, we're always available for that. Yeah, let's talk. So let's get some questions answered here. Let's see. So Francisco says, how do we wholesale a fire damaged property that already has a letter from the city to demo it?
You still have the land.
Yeah.
So you just price it out for the value of the land. There's going to be some cost for the demo. That's an easy one to get an estimate on, and just look at it as raw land with demo. And like, that's it. A higher and better use. The foundation is still going to be good. There's still going to be some inspections to be done, but for the most part, if someone gets a great deal on it, they'll be happy to move forward with it and buy it for a discount so they can create their vision with it. So in a way, they're kind of easier because you're only dealing basically with kind of like raw land. So I would just factor in the cost of the demo, probably some biohazard disposable feeds of the burnt, demolition of the property, but that's it. Don't overcomplicate it. It's pretty simple.
Easy. Let's see here. A lawyer for the seller won't allow her to sign the purchase and sale agreement. He claims it's illegal.
Well, what he's doing is illegal. It's
is
considered contract interference. And if you pushed it hard enough, you'd probably be disbarred. So if a purchase and sales agreement's illegal, then I'm in the wrong country. So guys, listen, here's the problem. Anyone who hangs their hat, I respect lawyers. And trust me, I would never walk in a courtroom without a lawyer. But the reality is, I can ask 10 lawyers, the exact same question. It can be on wholesaling. Is wholesaling banned? Is this? And you're going to get 10 different answers. And most people, especially influencers, will find a lawyer that will cater to the answer they want. And that's the problem with it. So this is a perfect example of it's just wrong. Yeah. And by the way, 50% of lawyers are wrong every day in America, but they're still going to make a living. They still don't really care. So we talk about bad wholesalers. Honestly, I think lawyers they definitely take a higher leap. Oh, they're so their credentials and they're licensed. Guys, some of the biggest scams in the entire world have been taken down by lawyers. Like, I'm not even going to rattle them off. So when you ask a lawyer, just make sure you're getting the correct interpretation. And remember, law is an interpretation. And so when you hang everything on one lawyer and you walk away and tell everyone that's the Bible, it gets very one-sided. So I hate this stuff. By the way, you can ask a lawyer, can I buy a probate property before the probate's done? 90% of them will tell you no. I don't know what law school these people go to. You just read the law. It's really black and white. Why? Because they're catering it to what serves them best. So people do that on social media. They'll talk a lawyer, go, hey, don't you believe this is true? And then you can go find a lawyer to support anything you say. Trust me, look in America, some of these crazy laws. So I never put all my stock into a lawyer. Trust me, if I go in a courtroom, I'm going to take the advice, but I'm rarely going to pin one go, okay, that's what's going on. So that's just bad information. I just find it funny. But here's the problem. Our sellers are scared of what lawyers take, and then they use that fear, as a leverage to get their client to do what they want to do. That's just how it works. Influencers do it, lawyers do it, realtors do it, NAR does it. It never stops. So we know what the world's like. So just to understand, I can't stand, well, a lawyer said, oh my God, a lawyer said, just don't put all your weight in one lawyer, because I've gotten really bad information from lawyers half my career.
Oh yeah. Trey says, hey Zach, when you get a property under contract, how do you pick the closing date if you don't have one set with the buyer? So how do I pick? So the closing date's already set with the seller. So how do I pick it with the buyer? Well, I just see what the seller wants, and then I make the buyer do that.
Yeah. And you're going to make the buyer do it at least 7 to 10 days before the expiration of your contract.
Oh,
you know why? Because if they ass out on you, sorry about that, you have time to extend the contract or replace it with another buyer. Because here's the reality. If you just let a buyer take over your contract and you're scheduled to close in 30 days, they get 30 days. If you have them sign an assignment of contract, whatever date you tell them, go, listen, you have to close 10 days prior to the expiration of that contract. It's a protection. A lot of buyers don't know that, and we have to remind them all the time. They go, well, your contract's good till the end of the month. Why do you want me to close 10 days earlier? Because number one, I don't trust you. And number two, I got a contingency plan if you don't work out. So sometimes they try to override it. Don't ever let them just take all the terms of your contract. Always have a buffer for your closing date in case they don't close, because they can kill your entire deal and like you get zero if they don't close. I rather have the option to extend the contract or replace it with another buyer. Hopefully you keep their deposit. And if you had to give that, split it with the buyer, seller, or give the new buyer a discount, that's why you want to do it that way.
I agree. Let's see here. Logan says, my second deal was a fire damage property, secured it via JV. Shout out to Logan there. Love
Awesome,
to see it.
See, people are doing them.
Of course. Logan says, JV, sellmypaper.com. Send it through. Jacob says, crazy that you're live talking about this. I walked by a beautiful fire damage property yesterday and the bulb lit up. Love to see that. It pops in your mind when you start doing deals like they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I could make all this money doing fire damage properties.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I'm making this video today, because it works. Mr. Emax says, Zach, I just got a fire damage property yesterday. Let's talk cash buyers. Cash buyers are simple, guys. It's really the process of seeing, do you want to find a flipper or do you want to find a landlord type guy? For fire damage property, it's going to be a flipper. Pretty simple. Yep. So you can go to For Rents on Zillow. You can go to cash sales on like listrei.com is a good one too. And you can find a ton of great deals. I love doing that. Also, let's do some one-on-ones too. We're going to answer some more questions, guys. Don't worry about that. Let's see. Pop it up right here. Right here is the streamer link. So let's talk. First is Ricky. Ricky, what is up? Hello? Yo.
Ricky.
All right. Bye, Ricky. Who hops on here? You don't want to talk.
I don't know.
Hello. EF Investments.
Hey.
There we go.
Oh,
how's it going?
Hey, man, it's going all right. I'm here in Fort Lauderdale, Broward County.
Awesome. Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Fred.
Fred?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nice to meet you. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, man. I just had one question. I'm trying pretty much the free method, and including the list for code enforcement, utilities, etc. And I'm only focusing on 1 to 2 zip codes here in Fort Lauderdale. Am I doing anything crazy, or is it just the market down here that I'm not finding, consistent leads? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, it's going to be the market, man. Fort Lauderdale is not the best area to be going.
Yeah, dude, it was challenging in early 2000 when I did Fort Lauderdale. So I grew up down there.
Okay, cool.
You got your first deal over there.
Yeah, I did a
First
lot of
wholesaling
deals.
deal.
I did quite a few, but I thought it was crazy expensive in 2003. But it's
crazy now, man.
The problem is Fort Lauderdale is pretty much Miami. Like, let's just be brutally honest. So when I say South Florida, I'm talking from like southern Palm Beach down.
Okay.
It's just there's nothing left to build. The population's massive. Doesn't mean you can't do a deal, but some of the traditional methods we teach, once you get to a certain price range, you kind of get cut out. So what used to be, $150,000, $200,000 houses are now $700,000 and $800,000 houses. And then once you get to a certain level, people feel like they need help and they want a level of sophistication. And most people in those price ranges will never admit when they need help. It's an ego thing. Blue collar workers that have they go, listen, I can't afford the house. I just got to move on. People with 800,000 to like $1 million plus house, they'll let the whole thing go to foreclosure before they ever admit they need help. And that's the challenge you have in every market. So remember, the average median price across the country is around $400,000. So I know Fort Lauderdale is well north of it. So be active in your market. Keep an eye out. You got to fight. Your only chance are off market properties.
Yeah.
And just find people in foreclosure or people that get on a code violation list. But I mean, everybody wants $500,000-$600,000 even for a beater house down there. It doesn't mean you can't make money doing it. It just means they're more sophisticated. So once you get above those average price range, especially above $500,000, that's when you want to start considering maybe I should look at some virtual marketing, because Fort Lauderdale, like it's kind of San Francisco, like kind of San Francisco vibe going now. Like everyone's they're just buying it for like whatever they can. And so, but the problem is the homeowners think they can get whatever they want. So they're like, why would I give you a 20% discount when Zillow offers me X amount and stuff like that? So I like it down there. So if you guys are in one of those really crazy markets way above the average price point, stay active, only locate off-market properties, and consider doing virtual markets in conjunction with it. Because if you could do 2 or 3 deals in your backyard, because you'll make significant money when you do them, because the good news is when you get them, the demand's through the roof.
Exactly.
The bad news is you're not going to get the quantity that me and Zach talk about on it. But keep in mind, we're up by like Port St. Lucie County. We used to buy $175,000 house. Now they're $300,000, and we think that's expensive here. So everybody from Fort Lauderdale, Miami's coming up and buying up here. And listen, from Orlando down south in the next 3 years, I think the prices will be pretty much the same. So I would find a virtual market and just add it to it so you can get more volume and more experience. We used to go down to Homestead, and that's how we cheated. But like now Homestead's completely filled.
They're too expensive down here.
So I've been working my way kind of out of Florida, but like I still like doing Florida. I still make a lot of money, but I've been doing it 20 years. So just keep your ears on the ground, understanding the local market. And the minute a house comes up, you just got to kind of move fast and stealthy, and it's got to be off market. The minute the realtor gets their claws into it, you're usually done. But I like Fort Lauderdale, but they're building up now. Like it's all like high rise, and I don't even recognize it anymore. How long have you been down there for?
Listen, Rick, I've been down here the majority of my life, and let me tell you, it's even the most, I would say, in the most cheapest areas down here, they're just building up. Like it's condo city, it's apartments, it's crazy.
It's gonna be like New York City, like that's where they're going. So it is what it is. They're building everywhere. So the options of like doing virtual, I would just consider it. So if you're anchored to Fort Lauderdale and you got family there, which is probably why you're there, it's a nice place to live. But man, it's not. If you sell, you're kind of stuck because you don't have a place to live, and that's the challenge everyone's having there.
And that's the thing. Like I'm wholesaling to actually relocate to Texas, and the thing with Texas is, they have laws which it's easy to get Florida records here. It's not so much easy to do so in Texas without having some type of, someone in the background there. And all right, cool.
Driving for dollars works really good in Texas.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Texas is phenomenal. I mean, it's right up there with Florida where people gravitate, but they just have more room for people.
Yeah.
It's I don't blame you, dude. I mean, I love South Florida. I don't like the building up thing because it's just like that's how New York got founded. And after a while, with hurricanes and stuff, it's gonna, people are gonna find out some of the downsides of that, but they'll figure that out over time.
Oh man, they're flooded down here already, downtown
Yeah,
Fort
you guys got a
Lauderdale.
lot
So
of rain. We were supposed to get it up here. We just it all stayed down south. It's still raining down there?
not yet. We're expecting more rain right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yep.
There you go.
welcome to South Florida,
So
man.
Thank
I would say do a
thank you.
50-50 approach. I think you should kind of figure out exactly where you want that other market. Seems like you want to do Texas. There's plenty of good Texas markets.
Yep.
And I'd be reaching out to those markets and wholesaling half your time doing the virtual and half in person.
All right. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, bye.
All righty. And then next here is Ricky. Are you back on?
Yeah, can you guys hear me good?
Loud and
Yeah,
clear. There we go.
perfect.
Okay. I am just a beginner in wholesaling, but I think I've learned a lot so far. My current situation is I kind of just graduated college and kind of think it was a scam, not gonna lie, as I kind of just did my own research. I kind of regret it every second of it. I just did it to please my
How do you
parents.
kind of graduate? Did you graduate or not?
Oh, no, sorry. I did
Yeah.
graduate. I'm
Okay. No, I heard kind of. I'm like,
Yeah, sorry. I don't know why I said that. No,
It's okay.
I'm graduated. I am graduated, and I kind of just did it for my parents. But I'm realizing, I want to escape the matrix, as you hear most people say, and wholesaling is something I am recently becoming very passionate about. And I guess my question is just kind of what market should I get into? I started me and a friend are actually collaborating, and we're doing Fresno, California together. But the individual market that I've recently decided to do a lot of work in is Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So I'm just not sure if that's a
Hattiesburg.
good one.
You got to say it the right way, man. Your seller's going
Sorry.
to share you a new one if you don't say it the right way. Hattiesburg, I think
Yeah.
it's Hattiesburg, Mississippi. That's a great market, man. That's a great one.
Yeah.
And so, based on your question, are you looking to find a good virtual wholesaling market?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So I think Hattiesburg, Mississippi is a great one, right? And so you're in kind of the South. There's a college there. The population's good. I think that's good to go. Now, I'll be honest with you. Any market is going to work for you if you try hard enough. Like technically, right? You can make deals. I have guys in Miami doing deals. I have guys in Oklahoma doing deals. I got guys in Utah doing deals, right? Really, you got to hit my criteria, which I've said a lot, but you got to make sure the population's there and the home prices are not over $500,000. Hattiesburg, Mississippi obviously meets that criteria. One big secret I've kind of exposed is I like big military bases. So, for example, in like Virginia, there's a big one in the Norfolk, Newport News region, which have you ever heard of the Newport News in your life? Probably not, never. Or Norfolk, maybe Virginia Beach, but like it's not talked about, but there's a ton of people there, ton of real estate, and a lot of great deals. And so, I'm not the type of guy to go tell you this market, go do it, because then everyone floods it in. What I would tell you is one secret is I like, I'm going to get in trouble saying this, but people like making videos on the internet. A lot of people, not just one, multiple people, about how wholesaling is illegal in this spot. For example, and I've said this a lot, one of the greatest gold mines ever in wholesaling real estate, virtual wholesaling real estate in the history was 4 years. 4 years ago. That's crazy. Okay.
Yep.
4 years ago, they made a law basically saying you can't publicly market your property for sale in Oklahoma, which meant wholesaling is legal, assignments are legal, but you just can't post your wholesaling deal on Facebook, or you can't post it like just on the internet like a realtor. You have to privately market it to a buyer. Like you have to call them or text them, right? And every guru ran with this and said, wholesaling's illegal. It's banned in Oklahoma. And then all the virtual wholesalers, all the wholesalers in Oklahoma left. And I just read the law. And all the title companies were like, no, it's all legal. And it was insane. And then everyone flooded Oklahoma. And it was, not everyone, but like me and some of the smart, we flooded Oklahoma when everyone left. It was fish in a barrel. So easy. And so what I could tell you is, I want this video to be as future-proof as possible. Just watch a guru say this place is banned. Read the law. Usually I'll tell you it's not banned because I actually show you guys the law. And then wholesale there, it's easy. Simple as that. There was a big wholesaling push about how wholesaling was illegal in Louisville, Kentucky. I told everyone
that was a really weak one.
That was a weak one. And then I told everyone to go to Louisville. They did, and they Louisville, and they made a ton of money. And then then the guru stops it because there's like 50 wholesaling transactions being done in the city where they say it's illegal, and then boom, you do well. And so what I can tell you is just keep your feelers out there. Look for next time someone says wholesaling is illegal, then go to that market. Just make sure you read the laws though, like I teach you guys how to do. I always make a video on that, and you'll be good to go.
Remember, there'll always be alternatives. Even if they flat out ban something, like
they haven't.
We haven't even got close to it.
Doesn't mean what I don't want to do a wholesaling ban type thing.
Let's move on past it. We don't want to waste time on it.
But I'm just telling you.
Let other people waste time.
That is the best area to go after.
He just gave you the secret.
Look where everyone runs, and then you just go after it. You're good to go.
Okay, thank you guys. I really do appreciate you guys' expertise. Just continue to work hard, and hopefully I get my first deal sooner than later.
What are you going to do to get your first deal?
Everything possible. I've just recently.
That's not a game plan, Ricky.
Well, I pulled the lists. Like I said, I'm a little bit seasoned because I did actually get my first deal locked up a couple months back while I was in school. I did lose it, but I think I learned a lot more losing it than I did actually gaining it. I learned so much in the process of losing my first deal. I think the biggest lesson I learned was not to waste your time, and because I had to do addendums to extend the dates, and I should have been more ambitious, and it shouldn't take me more than a week or two marketing my deal, trying to get it closed. I think that's so I'm
Ricky, what'd you get your degree in?
So I'm from Canada, so that's first. It was a justice service program. It was not a full blown degree, but it was just like I guess 2-year program diploma. So not like a full blown degree. It wasn't something I wanted to do. I just did it because my mom said. Because
dude, I did the same thing. So I'm just telling you, I walked on that road. I'm like, the hell do I have this? Like, I remember just going to interviews. They're like, you're basically gonna have to take a sales job. I'm like, well, what did I go to college for? Like, what's the point?
Right.
And I'm telling you, especially young people, I'm not telling you to defy your parents, but like, if you're going to go into wholesaling or even like sales or run your business, unless you're going to get in and out of college, like most of you guys can do college online. So if you're having that argument with your parents, find a solution to where you actually save your parents money, you save time and energy, and you can look forward to your future on it. So just an idea on it. So I didn't even hang my degree on the wall.
There we go.
Yeah, I haven't even attended my ceremony.
And then your parents are like, okay, now go figure it out, right? They're like, okay.
Right, after I'm in debt.
Yeah, now is when you really got to work. I'm like, oh, I just got you through college. So anyways, keep doing what you're doing. Just you go all in and just put in the time, and before you know it, you'll be there.
Yes, sir. Will do. Thank you guys again.
You got it, man. Thank you.
All right.
Perfect. All right. Next we have Torian, what's up?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good,
I'm
man.
blessed. How are you?
I'm blessed too. Thank you for picking me. I'm in Fort Wayne, Indiana area. You know about that spot, right?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so right now I want to like get my market so I could get like a lot of leads and start calling or whatever I got to do. Do you know like the right spot you could lead me to so I could?
So you want to know where in your city you should start wholesaling to?
I want to start here, but I just want to market. I did code violations. I didn't try. I did it. I went up there to code violations. I went to like 2 fire departments, and I did driving for dollars also. But now I want to like pull like a government list or something now.
Okay. Well, I mean, you said you did code violations?
No, I went up to the office and got it, but it didn't go through. So.
What do you mean? Okay, whoa. Okay, we're not talking like this. What do you mean it didn't go through?
They said they couldn't provide me with the information.
Torian, are you the type of guy that gives up easy?
No, I'm not giving up.
Well, did you see the way you talked to me?
Yeah.
I just didn't go through. I don't play those games, and exactly. I know you're not that type of guy, so you don't play those games either.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I get it? Is there a reason why you couldn't get that information?
They said that I would have to like have a specific address to give them. That's what they said.
Okay, was it the manager?
No, I didn't ask for the manager.
Ask for the manager. You got to be aggressive.
Right, you're going to have to learn to. You're just going to have to talk and engage people, and you're going to have to play with them to get what you want. So 90% of people, when they get an initial no, they just walk away.
Yeah.
So they just play the stats. If we want to teach you how to be like one of those special 5%ers, 1%ers, whatever you want to call them, you're going to have to do the opposite of what everybody else does. It doesn't guarantee you're going to get the list, but if you could overcome at least 2 objections to people, you have an incredible success rate. But most people just walk away after 1. That's how we were taught in school. That's what our parents said. When someone says no, you just walk away. The people that get really wealthy, like they play with no. No is fun. No just means you don't know me good enough, and we just need to share a little bit more information.
Yeah.
And you just got to build on rapport and relationships. These are regular people that have families, they have pets, and you buttered people up. Like you know how like the dating scene works, getting stuff what you want from family and parents. It is no different in wholesaling. So I just want you to understand, you just got to overcome it. And it's not about running them over. It's just about just engaging them and building rapport skills with them. So you just got to keep swinging the bat. Nobody bats 100% on these lists, but like most people are scared to death to even ask for the list. And that's where you have to make a decision, because if you can just figure out this trait on this part, it will bleed over into the rest of your wholesaling, because you're going to get people say no to you all day long once you get those lists. So you got to have fun with the ones that I think are the easier ones to get a yes from, because you got to go through a lot of motivated sellers, because you're going to strike out more than you win. But like, don't let like the lady behind the counter like take you out. Just keep pushing. I've gone back 10, 12 times to get a list. I'm like, I just keep reformulating my plan, and I keep playing with it. Yeah. And if I have to kiss butt, if I have to send my girlfriend, my wife in there, I'll do whatever it takes to get it. And I have people like, I'll do whatever it takes to be successful in wholesaling. You got to have that mindset from the get-go on like even getting these lists, because these lists are going to have a higher probability. They're going to save you time and energy, but it's going to be difficult up front. And remember what we teach you. If it's difficult up front, it'll be a lot easier on the back end. But you're in a society of wholesaling where they show you the easy stuff up front. It seems easy, and then you just get nowhere. And so me and Zach give you the truth. Just get the hard stuff done up front, and you will find a path to profit. The easy stuff just means it makes you feel good. And you just don't want to feel good. Like you want to get it done. So if you want to be a marathon wholesaler, just figure out these skill sets now. It doesn't mean you're going to hit 100%, but I'm just telling you. I get people all the time. Sometimes they get my phone number like, hey, is this Rick? And like, I've got to make a decision if I'm going to engage them or not. But like, if I say no, I get people hang up. I'm like, you were so close and you just gave up. I don't understand it. And you have to take that same mentality. Okay.
Question: Have any of y'all ever did a deal in Fort Wayne?
Yes.
Yes. Because I want to like pull like a list online, but I'm not giving up with that list. That wasn't in the picture. I just want to like try a list online, because right now I'm looking at the landlord list. I want to pull that.
That should be easy.
Yeah, that should be easy. I was trying that on my phone at first, and it was kind of tweaky, but I got the computer right here.
No more trying. We're gonna get
we gotta stop trying.
Yeah, no more trying.
Yeah, it doesn't even compute in my head.
Exactly. So no excuses. I'm working on that too. So yeah.
Okay. Well, it's a muscle, and you got to just flex it every day. So the biggest thing you can do is identify when you do it and go, okay, I got to stop doing it. It's just a habit you kind of form after a while. So
yeah,
you got it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for bringing me on here also.
Okay, all right. Awesome. Come back on, man.
Get some work.
I see y'all.
All right.
I appreciate it, man. See you.
Beautiful. All right, guys. Also, we are back from our trip, and so we're here for the rest of the year. So we're pretty excited about that. So we're going to give everyone again a revamp of our schedules. So our live stream schedule for Flip with Rick for all channels is going to be Tuesday and Thursdays at 1 o'clock Eastern. 1 o'clock Eastern. That's our live stream schedule. And then on the Zachin channel, my YouTube channel, I go live on 10 o'clock on Sundays. And then Rick goes live on, oops, I put the wrong date on there. And then on Mondays, Rick Ginn goes live. Oh, wrong time too.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm in bed then.
There we go. But on the Rick Ginn channel, he goes live at 5 o'clock Eastern on Mondays.
Yeah.
So that is our live stream schedule. So Monday, Rick Ginn YouTube channel. subscribe to that one. Subscribe to the Zach Ginn channel, 10 o'clock Eastern. And then obviously the bigger ones are on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 o'clock Eastern. So guys, again, we do have a free wholesaling course. It's called freewholesaling.com. We teach you how to wholesale real estate absolutely for free. So go there. It's in the bottom here, freewholesaling.com. And I will show you how to do it step by step, absolutely for free. We got our Subject 2 series coming next week. Pretty excited about that. And so again, have your questions. We are personally answering every comment you have on the YouTube channel. So make sure you spam us with comments and questions. I want to get to everyone's questions. So if you have a question, I give you my word this weekend and for the next 2 or 3 weeks, and now I'm not traveling, I will answer. Me and Rick, either of us will personally, answer your questions on YouTube. So comment below your questions, and me and Rick will personally answer it. And so we really appreciate it. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you soon. This is Zach Ginn signing out.
Rick Ginn signing